stop there. It just don't stop there. And then I look on I look online today and shout out to Nick Rocco, Nicky Haircuts. And I see him talking about that. There's the freekarenread.org, which a lot of people will go to Free Karen Read. You go to freekarenread.org. So I tell people do not go to that website. But if you go to that website, you'll see something that's quite shocking. You're like, what happens when someone buys a domain name using another person's name and then they use it to funnel funds from that account, or it just, for their legal defense fund and not for the name. There's the freekarenread.org. Turtle Boy's just playing, you want to call him something, call him the fraud daddy. You know what I mean? I want to call him like, I just can't understand why people, we'll talk about, look, the domain appears online. If you go to freekarenread.org, a name that clearly references a real person at the center of a high profile case, you would think you're donating to Free Karen Read. How is this not obtaining money under false pretenses? You click it, you're expecting information, maybe an update about the Karen Read case, what you can do to help. But you're routed to a donation page for someone entirely different. No permission from the person on the screen. None at all. No clarity about who runs the site. Where's the transparency about where the money goes? Transparency and this guy, do not mix. Transparency and Turtle Boy is like an oxymoron. And now this site right now, it claims it has over $300,000. It has over $300,000. That isn't a small number. Like, where is the oversight? Because we know Turtle Boy's bad with money. We heard that for years. And he's, and he's mainly the payee, the benefactor of, of these defense funds, of this, like, it's not chump change. It's not pocket change. This is serious fundraising or fraud raising